Hey everybody, it's Missy Wolf, and thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Track by Track. Today's guest is Kelly Lang, and she's amazing, and we are here to talk about her brand new album, Obsession. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us today on Track by Track to discuss your new album, Obsession.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Now, I know that there's probably a lot that went into making the album and each song, but really I want to know first the song title and the theme of your album. How did this come to be?
Well, the title of the album is actually a little word that we've taken out of the first track, My New Obsession. And, you know, music is my obsession. So I thought it was just really appropriate to name it that. And the picture from the cover is in my swimming pool, and that's my other obsession. So it's kind of a clashing of both of my fabulous worlds. So I'm just wanted to let people know a little bit more about my personality within the title as well as all of the songs.
Right, and I love your swimming pool.
Me too.
When I was here last time, we were here during the day, and I just wanted to swim in that pool. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so relaxing. And
yeah, you know, so many people they have a swimming pool and they don't use them. I do not understand that.
I know, we talked about that.
I am literally in that pool. If it's above 70, I'm in it.
Absolutely. You know where to find Kelly.
Yeah, it's like you know, some people drink wine or smoke a cigar or a cigarette or something. That is my thing. That's my thing I go to.
Well, and it's awesome and relaxing, and what a great place for a photo shoot too. The colors are so vibrant, so the album is amazing.
Thank you. Angela Talley, she's an incredible photographer. She came, and Lisa Proctor did the makeup, and my daughter, although I don't look like I have any clothes on in this picture, I do, but she said, Mom, you got to throw a chunky necklace on because everybody swims with chunky necklaces. So she added the extra pop. And you know, when I had the picture taken, I thought, I think it's a neat picture, but I never had an album in mind when we actually did the photo shoot. So it's kind of just a backward way of doing it. The photo shoot was done, and then I created the music. So it's kind of neat.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about track one.
Okay.
And that is My New Obsession. What inspired this song for you?
You know, I was out in the swimming pool. I wrote most of these songs either in the bathtub or the swimming pool. And you know, the melody just started coming to me more than anything. And I was just thinking, golly, I'm just really happy and in love with my husband. And when I was dating him, he was truly my obsession. And he still is, you know, but it's just a different version of that.
Right.
And I thought, I can't be alone here. There's got to be other people that think of somebody a lot throughout the day, and they worry about them and wonder if they feel the same way. And I don't know, just the words just started coming, and I didn't know if it was going to end up on an album. I didn't write it for any particular project. It just was something I was writing and set aside for a few months, and lo and behold, that's where this ended up. So
did you play it for TG right away?
Yeah, we run things past each other each time. He's actually in the middle of doing his first album in 20 years.
Wow.
His first solo album in 20 years, maybe even more than 20. And we run songs past each other, and we write some together, and I wouldn't dare think that I would know enough about the music industry, knowing he's in the next room, and not ask his opinion,
Right.
you know. So, and he's had 21 number one hits. I would be silly not to get his advice. So yes.
Okay, so next up is Last One Standing in the Rain. And if you haven't heard the song, that title leaves you very curious. So, you know, you imagine all these different stories that took place for that title, and at least I did. So what went into that song? What is that song about?
Well, I was recovering from a really bad back operation, and I was finally getting up and getting around and walking around, but I was really, really down. It was very blue. And I was walking around my pool, and my friend Barry Gibb and I had just spoken on the phone, and he had just lost his brother, and I was so blue for him. I was just like, oh, I can't, who am I to be down in the dumps? God bless him. You know, I can't imagine losing my siblings like that. And this song just kind of started coming to me. I'd seen an interview that he had done, and he said, I'm the last one standing. And it just, the rain started coming down on me outside. In the rain, that makes it even worse, you know. So I just decided to go with that title and write about what it must feel like to lose all of your family. And I actually entitled it Last Man Standing in the Rain to begin with. And I presented it to Barry. And when he heard the song, he was too close to comfort. He was very moved at the time and very saddened by obviously it being such a close call with their brothers just passing. So he says, do me a favor though. He says, when you put something on an album, put that song on there and change it to Last One Standing, because it could relate to a lot of different situations. And I've had people come up to me and say, oh, that really relates to me. I lost my mom, or I lost my, and I'm like, I never thought of it being from a personal standpoint, but it actually translates to different people in different ways.
And that's the beauty of music, because it goes to everybody. Everyone gets a different story, a different emotion from it.
Yeah.
And it's so healing and so beautiful, and good job. And I'm
Thank you.
wow, what a perfect title though. You hear that, and then the rain's coming down. Like, it's just, I can picture the moment. Like, that had to have been just.
The most intimidating part was singing it to him on the phone the next day.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, I wrote a song for you. And he goes, well, sing it. And I go, now?
Oh, wow.
Okay, But, I'm very fortunate to have that ability to run songs past the greatest songwriter in the world. So it's really flattering to have that.
Okay, probably my favorite song title is What Do You Do When You Don't? I love that. And it sounds like it could go to a million different things, a great poem, a great story. So tell me what this song is for you.
Well, it's not a secret. I had gone through a divorce, and I really had no idea what I was doing at the time, but I kept thinking, I don't even want to look at you. I don't want you to come near me. I dreaded him coming home. And most people go through that at some point with a breakup, and I realized that I certainly wasn't alone, and it was very cathartic to be able to write my feelings down, and I didn't show it to anybody for years. It just was kind of healing for me, but once I recorded it and put it out there, that song in particular has stood out amongst most people going, that is the one we can relate to the most. Oh my gosh, I've gone through that, So, I just write honestly. I write just to the heart, and you don't have to guess what you're listening to when you hear the words to it. But I did hear some people say, Bill Cody from WSM, he said, a lot of people could relate to that with a job.
Oh, yeah,
or,
definitely.
quitting a situation in business or something. And I thought, I never thought about that. When you just don't care anymore, that's how you feel.
Well, and it's interesting that you brought that up, because I remember, and okay, don't shoot me, Star Wars fans, but I remember George Lucas doing an interview saying he had to break up with Star Wars. Like, he had to break up with them, and I thought that was the most interesting.
What did he do when he didn't?
Yeah, I just thought it was the most interesting term. So I'm really glad that you actually that you brought that up. It's true, and that song now can probably relate to even more people than you ever imagined.
Well, it's a really cool thing to be able to write something down and then hear all the interpretations of it. I really love that part.
Absolutely. When I saw you at the guest house in Memphis, and I believe you sang Under a Tennessee Moon that night.
I did.
And I remember that just left a lasting impression, and I loved that song on your live performance. Tell me what writing that song was about for you.
Well, my mom is just a Tennessee fan. We are from Oklahoma, and Oklahoma doesn't really have the trees or the hills or mountains that Tennessee had. So when her and Dad were thinking about moving to Tennessee from Oklahoma, they would come home and tell us the beauty of it. Can't believe the lakes, can't believe the tree, And as a kid, I was just like, okay, whatever, So when you get here, as a kid, you don't see that beauty, and you don't pay attention to history, So the older I got, the more my mom kept loving Tennessee, and I started going, yeah, this is neat. I love the Hermitage. I love the Smoky Mountains. Yeah, okay, Mom, I get it. And I started loving, Nashville music, and then all of a sudden I thought, I need to write my mom a gift. I need to give this to her as a gift. So I wrote it many years ago, as a matter of fact, but I most recently fell in love with the words in particular. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I recognized once we had the Nashville flood, and I saw the beauty of how people really gathered together and took care of one another, and the beauty of, oh my gosh, what if we never had that again? What if we didn't have the Grand Ole Opry House again? Or what if we couldn't see Dollywood or the Smoky Mountains after we had that fire? It made me, I guess I grew up, and I go, oh, now I see, I have chills. Now I see the real beauty. So we put together a video of the places that I am passionately in love with now, and I can really relate to that song even more.
Okay, your next track, I should say, is Mr. Right, and I can only assume that it's about Mr. TG, but I could be wrong.
I'm not saying.
Okay.
No, I had almost finished the album. I had written 11 songs. And he goes, I really think you could do an up-tempo. I think we need some more movement to the album. And I said, I don't like writing up-tempos. I really am not they don't come as easy as a ballad for me. And so here I go and walk outside and lay on my float for a little while. And I was thinking, okay, what up-tempo songs do I love? What really moves me when I'm feeling like I need an up-tempo? Well, Staying Alive. The feeling of that, it's just a groove. And so I kind of came up with my own kind of groove like that, I felt. And again, I was just like, what would go with that? What would a girl like to say, but in a positive way about her man? So many people trash their men. I mean, really?
True,
so many
true.
people trash their spouses, and
I know.
I'm just not that guy. I really, I am so happily married to T. And I just wanted to kind of celebrate him with this song as a surprise. So when I came back in the house, I said, sit down for a minute, see if you like this. Of course, he sure did.
Yeah.
So it ended up making the last song on the album.
Well, and this is my favorite song on the album. And it's got that feel where you just want to boogie with the music. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I was in my living room just totally grooving with this music.
Yay.
And I absolutely loved it. And it is a different feel on the album.
It is.
But you have to know that your ballads, you write amazing ballads. And
well, thanks.
Your voice is so good on every ballad that you sing that, I don't think there's anything wrong with writing a bunch of ballads. I love it.
Well, the last couple of albums that I did, I actually just did ballads. They were truthfully, you turn it on, you get a glass of wine, you sit in your tub, they're listening albums.
Yeah.
But I wanted this to be a little bit more of a variety and show more of my personality. And on stage, I love to perform Mr. Right. We have full horn section. And the video that we did for Mr. Right, Stacy Huckabee, she's an incredible videographer. She had the idea of taking us down to Centennial Park. There was not a man in sight. And I'm like, Stacy, why are you having me sit at Centennial Park with no men around, and it's about Mr. Right? She goes, you just wait. And organically, the funniest looking group of guys would come through the film, and it was so much fun. We had the horn players playing downtown Nashville and walking up and down Broadway, and the people were just stopping and looking at us like we had lost our minds, but it was just a blast. And we're so honored to live in Nashville. We can that's our backdrop, and it's so much fun to just be able to stop and plop in a backdrop of a song like that.
It's great. And I mean, as a tourist, when you're out there, you see so many people doing things. And there's so many videos that are filmed down there. But it's such a great experience for everyone involved. And I'm so glad that I get to talk to you today about it.
I remember this one guy. He was walking out of a storefront or a club or whatever as we were marching down Broadway, and these 3 horn players are in sync behind me, and he walked out and he goes, "How you doing?" It's like, can't talk, It was just fun. We had a blast time. This was really cool. I loved it.
Okay, we're halfway into the album. One Day Too Late. Tell me about that, because again, for somebody who hasn't heard the music, you get a lot from the title and you imagine a lot of things from the title. So what is this song for you? What did you write about?
I'm curious. What did you imagine from that?
You know what? For me, it was just a missed opportunity. One day too late. You missed that one thing you were searching for, and you just barely missed it. And we hear those stories often in life where you were just shy of making that next move happen, right. Or you really wanted to buy that purse, but your paycheck came in the next day, and then the sale was over. I mean, there's funny. So many times that those happen. So when I read titles, that's the first thing I do is imagine, and then when I actually listen to the song, and I'm like, okay, either I was right or I was way off.
You're way off.
I'm way off. Yes.
No, it's really funny. I wrote that song probably 25 years ago, 20 years ago maybe. It's so cruelly written. One of the lyrics in this is, "Do I see a tear on your face? Yeah, I think I do. Well, I hate to sound so cold, but it looks good on you." It talks about how this guy is now coming up and showing, what he is wanting to do or what he wished he could have done. And she says, "Honey, you're one day too late," and it's okay. Now we love seeing this side of you, but it's time for you to move on now. So my point with having written that song is, and this album, as a matter of fact, you'll see a tapestry of emotions. You'll see someone who is broken. You'll see someone who is kind of got her groove back.
Yeah.
And one day too late, like, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You see somebody that's gone from the depths and risen out and has had a blast now. So that was written in a cocky mode.
Okay, now we got to talk about his guitar. Is his guitar T's guitar or no?
No, and you know what? I wish that I could really give you more of a reason behind this song. But I was really searching to write a song that I have never heard before. Oh. I like to take a subject matter and twist it around to a way that you might not have ever thought of it before.
Right.
And this song was just a challenge for me. The whole album really was a challenge for me because I wrote every single song by myself without having any co-writers. And this song in particular, I got stuck in the middle of it going, I don't know if I could finish this or not. But it's about a woman warning another woman, which I love women protecting other women's songs, about the guitar player. He's going to hurt you, and he's going to use you like a guitar string. He's going to cut you. You're going to fall to the ground and you can't make a sound. And, he's going to play you fast. He's going to play you soft. He's going to, and it's just taking the guitar string and turning it into a metaphor for an affair. Yeah. And, it worked. I was sitting at the kitchen table and Jimmy Capps, the great Jimmy Capps guitar player, was here with me. And I said, "You're inspiring a song for me," but it really wasn't inspired by anybody in particular. I just like the challenge of taking a guitar string and making it into that.
Well, and that's an interesting subject matter though too, and the way that you were able to relate it to that. But it's true, and there's so many people out there who need to hear that message. Sadly, there's a lot of people out there who need to hear that message, and. So what a great way to put a spin on that.
Well, the video that we did, my friend JC Dawn Valeris was the co-star, and she was the girl that I was warning. And, of course, the video plays itself out that she did not take the heed, and went off with the guitar player.
Yep. And
we don't know what the plan B is for her, but so many people get enthralled with musicians, and they, I married TG. What am I talking about?
Yeah, but he's a good guy.
We did the video at the Fontanelle, and it's where Barbara Mandrell's home was. And they were so sweet to allow us to come into their Fontanella, which is their beautiful cafe there. And we had an incredible actor playing the guitar player. And as we were filming the video, they had a smoke machine going to make it really have the level. And the firemen had to come. The smoke alarms went off, and it was a rather exciting night. Should have been there.
I should have been. That would have been great to see, but a little scary too, maybe.
No, I loved it. Firemen are cute.
They are.
I love the same music, man. So girl, I can understand. He'll melt you right in his hand when he plays his guitar. He will seduce you, and then he will use you. He did the same to me, right here in this bar. Just like an old string from his guitar, he played me slow and sweet, then played me fast and hard. He plucked the melody right from my heart, and when I played out of tune, he replaced me way too soon from his guitar. I know you're having fun, but girl, I suggest you run. He'll break your heart in two. Yeah, that man gets around. Yes, I know for certain you'll be worn down and broken. Then he'll leave you on the ground where you can't make a sound. Just like an old string from his guitar, he'll play you slow and sweet, then play you fast and hard. He'll pluck the melody right from your heart, and if you play out of tune, he'll replace you way too soon from his guitar. From his guitar. Just like an old string from his guitar, he played me slow and sweet, then played me fast and hard. He plucked the melody right from my heart, and when I played out of tune, he replaced me way too soon from his guitar.
The next song is called Don't Play Games With Me, and you subtitled it Barbie and Ken. So what's going on there?
Well, you see kids playing with Barbies or Kens or whatever, and they have this unrealistic fantasy of what their lives can be by playing with Barbies and Kens and games that kids play, looking for the the knight in shining armor or whatever,
having the dream house,
white horse, and dream house, Barbie dream house.
Yes.
And I just started again playing around with words as to try to make the Barbie and Ken real characters.
Right.
And I'm not Barbie and you're not Ken, and let's quit playing games with each other. My heart is not a wind-up toy you leave laying on the ground. And these are some of the lyrics that are in here, and I think that when we're kids we think that's that's the realistic part of it, but life happens and we realize it's not all games.
Absolutely. For some of us, those childhood fantasies, they get burst real quickly, don't they?
Well, like I said, I write very real. I write right to the heart.
You do. I love it. Something we always hear all the time is "Hell hath no fury," and usually it's followed with like a woman who's whatever.
Yeah. What
went into this song, and why that title?
Oh, I was mad that day, and I just think, nobody's perfect. I lose my temper or whatever, and I don't even know. T and I never ever really fight, but I think he made me mad about something, and I go, "What? I'm gonna write a song about it." I'm going Taylor Swift on you. No, I don't even remember the situation, but I just thought it was a cute twist on words, and I thought there was an old Elvis song, "Looking for Trouble, you come to the right place."
Yes.
And I kind of had that feel to it when I started writing the groove, and I don't know, a woman with an attitude is very worth writing about.
Yes.
So there's that.
The next song is "Lay Me Down Easy," and whenever I say the title, I say it to the tune of "Slow Burn," and I don't know why, but I do.
Sing it for me.
No, I don't sing. No, I'm not even drunk at karaoke. I cannot do that. No, but I love that.
My sister, she goes, "Your songs are naughty." I didn't mean for it to land on this album, but okay. We're adults. This is an adult album.
Yep.
And it's about a woman that is lonely. It's kind of like a modern day "Help Me Make It Through the Night." If you think about it, she's just needing someone to help her, and she wants to dance, and she wants to drink Merlot and listen to albums all night, and she knows this guy's not in love with her, but that's okay. That's okay. So not from personal experience. Thank you.
Me either. Okay, Wonder Woman. I love the title. We all love Wonder Woman. Most of us do.
Well, it's actually a lot of women, a lot of friends that I have over the years, and they're like, "Oh, I hate my waist," or "I hate my hair," and they're whining about this or whining about that. And I'm thinking to myself, I wish they hadn't brought that to my attention, because I think they're perfect.
Right.
I think I wish they wouldn't say things that were negative about themselves.
Yeah.
And one friend in particular, she was, here swimming one day, and she was just like, "I just wish I could do this. I never done that." I'm like, don't, seriously, she was so tiny and so beautiful, and her skin was perfection. And I thought, wait, we need to write an anthem for women. They might not be as thin as they once were, but they're rocking the red bikini. They are making fantastic money, great living for themselves. They're great inspirations for these girls. They need a song. So I marched right back out to the pool. And I wrote Wonder Woman, and that was the fastest song I'd written. It was like maybe 10 minutes to put that whole thing together. I had a blast writing it.
I love that, and I hear that all the time, and especially recently. And everybody always is saying the same thing, that the songs that they just love, that it come out so fast, and they like write themselves, and it's true. And we as women are so critical of ourselves, and
it's true. And you know what, I can see when you're younger and you have more insecurities or whatever. But when you get to a certain place in your life and, gain wisdom or whatever,
Right.
unfortunately, that's when your body goes down to,
know.
whatever. But, I really like where I'm at in my life. I like my age. I've lived long enough to say what I want to say.
Right.
No apologies. And I've lived long enough to see this web of the reason things connect in my past, and see beauty in things that they might not see it in themselves. So I think one of my gifts as a songwriter or a friend or whatever is to be able to find the beauty in my girlfriends and bring it out to them. And that was just my way of doing that by song.
Well, and that's something to be treasured too, by your friends. And I know that you have a tendency to do that for everybody. I mean,
Oh, sweet.
I mean, ever since I've known you, I've heard stories about you writing personal songs to somebody, for somebody, to help somebody through something. And and honestly, I mean, I know that's what you are. You're an artist who that's what you do. But you take it always a step further. And your beautiful tribute to Conway Twitty and his family, that right there, that was the moment when I realized, wow, this girl, is more personal for her, and it makes you happy to be able to make those people happy.
Music is not about fame for me. I know that comes along with and doing interviews and press releases and whatever. That stuff is secondary to me. That is part of it. But the gift of music and the beauty of being able to heal from music or share one's feelings and connect with someone is the payoff for me. It's way more powerful when somebody goes, your music affected me, than what kind of makeup do you use? It doesn't, it's a heart thing with me. And I'm glad you pick up on that. That's cool.
Definitely. All right, you stuck it out with me for the whole album.
And I've loved every minute.
So the last song is "I'll Just Hold My Breath." Mm-hmm. What a way to end the album too. And when you look at the titles themselves, just in a row, that just tells an awesome story. What made you end the album with this song?
Well, I've never been asked that question before. This song is the most personal song I think I've ever written. I wrote it about my daughters, and when kids go through teenagerhood and moms just are appalled by the things that come out of their mouths, or they're worried sick, about them when they leave in their cars, and it's a long stretch of holding your breath, and you just hope to God He'll take care of them in the meantime, and one day they're going to regret what they're saying or what they're doing, but in the meantime I'm going to bite my tongue. Yeah. And then at the end of it, I don't know if you've picked up on this, but there's like an exhale.
Yes.
And it was just like a healing way for me to just kind of end the album and tie a bow around it, and just it's resting now. It's done.
Oh, I'm so glad I asked, because the whole theme, the overall theme of the album and just everything, I was like, I want to know more about this song, because it definitely, it had a different feel to it to me. And I was like, there's something deep there.
It was deep. And I wrote it on the piano, which I normally write on the guitar. Like the songs come to me melodically in my head, and then I go straight to an instrument to finish them out. That song was written on the piano for me, which I'm not the strongest of pianists by any means. But while I was playing the chords on it, I started weeping. I mean, it was just and as a matter of fact, I really had not even, that's the only song I'd never shown to TG. I've never played it for anybody. Oh, wow. And it was that personal to me. And when we started looking at songs to put on the album, I accidentally clicked my computer because I had it on my phone. And he goes, "Whoa, what is that?" And I said, it's no big deal. And he goes, "I think it may be a big deal." He said, "We need to revisit that one." So that was, I fought him a little bit on that, because it was really, really a personal thing for me. But, again, I'm hoping somebody can feel that things do get better, and the sun does come out tomorrow. And, as long as you know that there's an end to a bad situation, you can always get through it. And perhaps somebody will see that with that song.
Tennessee River
Okay, now that we've talked about all the tracks, the overall creative process with this album, recording it, studio time, everything that went into this album, are there any moments that just stood out to you, or were there any anyone who was involved with this that just helped you with your project so much that you didn't expect?
Well, not that I didn't expect. For the last 3 or 4 projects that I've done, I would be remiss to not mention my friend Buddy Hyatt. He is a phenomenal, like a freak of nature in the studio. He gave me confidence. I did an album called Shades of K several albums ago that he helped me find my sound. My vocals had gone, I sing a lot deeper now than I once did. Okay. So he helped me bring out a different, mellow, deeper sound, richer tone to me. And he gave me the confidence to know, hey, so you mess up, we'll go back again. So you mess up, we'll go back again. And I never really had somebody to nurture me like that. And, you know, I produced the album, but I would have felt really less safe if he weren't my co-pilot in that situation. He's an awesome talent.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Track by Track featuring Kelly Lang. Don't forget, if you haven't got her brand new album, Obsession, you can do that now. You can get it at kellylang.net or wherever digital music is sold. Until next time, guys, we'll see you soon.